Hello there, Seraphim17 once again. This is my Gears of War 4 Inconceivable difficulty video walkthrough. This is Act 5 Part 3, it's called Gatecrashers, and this is pretty much a free pass if you've done what it takes to get here. You are in Jack Jr., this huge statue which is a builder from the very beginning that was building and constructing that cog encampment, and you have an industrial staple gun and missiles to paint targets with. You are incredibly capable, but even in something as majestic as this creature, you can be killed really quickly. If you get hit by 2 quills, you die. If you get hit by a full stack of the carrier's projectile, you die. And if you get hit by the Brumac, pretty much anything, you die. So, as much as this is not difficult and it's kind of just a power tripping experience, you can still get sloppy and get murdered. But this is fun. I had a lot of fun doing this. I really do like this mission. I just wish they'd gone a little bit deeper with the idea of the Gears of War gameplay on this scale. And I spoke about that in my previous campaign. If you haven't seen it, I did an insane walkthrough when the game first came out. And pretty much explained how I felt about the game and everything in those subsequent videos. But this is just a fun mission, and it probably looks amazing on PC, but it definitely looks a bit rough on original Xbox here. Just because there's a lot of geometry, there's a lot of physics on things crumbling, there's a lot of destructible environments. It's quite an ambitious sequence. And it's fun too. And then there's the shit last boss coming up, which is nice and shitty. So look forward to that. And it's actually pretty tough too. But it's only tough because it's garbage, right? Once again, Gears 4 can't do a boss right for some reason, I don't know why. I'd rather take on 2 General Rams at the same time than the shit they have you do in this game, but that's just me. As long as you got a rock to get Ram stuck on and a shotgun to stick in his mouth, you'll be fine, right? Which, if you've never done that strategy for Ram, it's ridiculous. Kills him so fast. But keep on pushing forward. And just enjoy the game, you know, you've earned it, you're practically there. At this moment in time, you will have got an achievement for carrying the Lancer the entire way, which is worth 25G. It might be a silver trophy, even though you can't get a trophy for it, unfortunately, which is kind of shitty. But then after that, when you get to the end of the game, you're going to get 20G for beating Inconceivable, and then you're going to get 50G for beating it solo, which is 70G. 95G on everything we've done, which is not too bad, right? That's a pretty decent reward. I'd prefer it if it was worth a bit more, because no one's done it. It would be nice to get some huge recognition. Like, if it was worth 100G or 150G, that'd be a really nice badge of honour on the old gamer tag, but, you know, it's better than it could be. Some games don't even give you anything for beating their difficulties. So all you get is the satisfaction of knowing you did something that no one would do because it was horrendous or really fun, depending. But this is an interesting place. This is actually the dam that we were at, but this is the village next to it. It's called Tollen, and I don't really know too much about it other than I don't like the dam section. I find that section really boring. But this section's really fun. I just feel like they missed out on having a huge enemy. Like, I think that the boss that turns up could have been really, really cool if it had actually been a boss instead of just a sequence of pressing A to dodge and then shooting stupid glowy part. Like, these Swarmak fights aren't the most interesting, but at least it's a fight. At least it's you going in cover and him doing his moves and everything. Whereas in that other thing, it might as well be a fucking rhythm game. Because it's garbage, right? Shoot the spores, which are really boring. You know, duck the quills, which are really hard to duck because they hit you anyway because it's really dumb. Staple the hand down, then pick up the chopper, and I don't get it. I'll take Gears 2, Hammer of Dawn for 5 seconds from a helicopter and the underwhelming realization that there's no final boss any day. Oh, by the way, the missiles really hurt too, don't get hit by them. It might not be apparent to some people, but I'm actually taking cover on this mausoleum roof, which is kind of cool. It's kind of crypt veranda or whatever it is. Gazebo, I have no idea. Use your missiles as well as your stapler. These things take an incredible beating. It's just such a strange fight. Because he can't do much, he just side strafes. It's like watching a cartoon cowboy. And then when you get the big execution prompt, you can go and tear his face apart, which is always fun. But the thing that I noticed with the final boss, I might as well talk about it here because you don't have too much time when it's happening. The final boss, if you stand in the middle of the arena, you can have more than one tentacle firing quills at you. If 2 quills hit you on this difficulty, you die. So the thing that I found that was easiest is if you move all the way to one side of the arena, you can sometimes only get 1 quill firing at you and the rest of them firing at your teammate. And dodging 1 quill is not too bad. And that's what I'm going to do. So we're going to go all the way from the left to all the way to the right, and with each one you destroy, it gets easier because there's less of them shooting at you. If you get a ton shooting at you, it feels impossible. And that's the problem that you're going to have, or that's the problem that I had anyway. Dodging them is less about timing and more about how many are firing at you. Because the timing on it is silly. They should have just given you iframes and it would have been fun. But iframes in a Gears game? Come on now. That was in Gears of War 1 and they removed them all. But move through this ravine here, through this dry bed. And there's going to be a couple of carriers and a couple of snatchers and various other dudes. Like, there's so little to say, isn't there? Some of those other missions that we've done, where every single piece of movement that I did, or grenade that I threw, or weapon that I picked up had such a purpose. And then there's this one where you're practically just running around swinging your dick, because you're so strong. I wonder what this is going to do in Gears 5. It'd be cool if there'll be more builder moments. I get the feeling that you're probably going to end up fighting a corrupted builder, because it seems to be the thing, doesn't it? Like, the Brumac turned up, you didn't fight it originally, everybody wanted to, and then they released the footage of you getting to fight it, and then in the later games it became something that you rode on. So you rode a Brumac, which was kind of cool. So they always have a way of twisting the vehicles, don't they? Which there was derricks and all kinds of things, wasn't there, in Gears 2 that you didn't really see again. The Centaur from Gears 1, which was the Junker, I think, right? With the krill and everything. There were some dumb vehicles, though, in 2, wasn't there? There was that... Like, you drove across the ice on that vehicle and in those dark tunnels with it and stuff, where there was corpses everywhere, because they had the technology to render, like, 3 corpses on screen, so they wanted to do it all the time. Like, you forget things like that, don't you? The limited technology of the 360 enabling them to do things, and then they were finally able to do it without it costing a ton of resources, and then in Gears 3 there's just a million dudes all the time on the screen at all times. Pretty interesting. So if you don't realise as well, this robot does have a dodge. All you have to do is roll in any direction and it'll do like a dash. Well, a couple of carriers on the left and then a wheel to kill, or a wheel to turn, and then there's going to be a swarmac. A couple of snatchers on the roof. Much more fatal than the old fiddler. But yeah, guys, how do you feel about Gears these days? It seems to have lost a lot of its prestige, doesn't it? I don't think it has the reputation that it once had. Gears used to be a massive event. It used to be a big thing. It used to be like Halo. But I feel like that's a generation behind. I feel like everybody's kind of moved on. And it's not because the games are bad, and it's not because they're not fun. It's just because we've played them. Like, the 360 and the original Xbox were kind of the Halo's pantheon when Halo was great. And the 360 was for Gears of War what, you know, the Xbox was to Halo. And I feel like Xbox One, it's not the same now. You know, it has its own champions. It doesn't need the old guard to come back. But they're coming back anyway, and I'm just hoping that they do something cool with it. Because Rod Ferguson said in the interview at E3 that they want to challenge expectations. And I think that could be really, really sweet. The one thing that I'm excited about from what I saw is that the footage that they showed of gameplay at E3 was running at 60 frames per second. I want it to run good on console. That's the one thing I want. But knowing my fucking luck, even if it does run well on console, it won't run well on the one I have. Why do they have to hide it behind Windows 10, dude? I don't like Windows 10, it's poopy. I just want to play Gears. It's such a strange thing, right? Playing Gears of War 1 is hard enough with games for Windows Live and how unstable it is now. It's been universally fucking pariahed. Like, I'd love to go and play Gears 1 now on PC, but I know it won't work. Because it's like, you have to fiddle with a million things just to get it to not crash and not like run like shit. It's just so strange. You know when you have to pirate a game you fucking own physically because it's the only way to get it running? You've got a problem. A big problem, right? But that is the end of the video, guys, and then the next one's the finale. So thank you for watching, thank you for being with me. I hope it's been helping, I hope you haven't had too much trouble, and I will see you at the credits when you'll get those achievements that didn't pop for me, and popped a day late, which is really stupid. But thank you for watching, and you take care now.